Here are the three powerful personality development tips from the Bhagavad Gita. Number 1. Cultivating good habits. Bhagavad Gita says that there are three modes of material nature under whose influence we all work: the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Mode of goodness is characterized by knowledge and happiness. Passion is characterized by sense gratification, unlimited desires, which eventually lead to misery. Ignorance is characterized by laziness, sleep, and misery throughout. Good habits sprout from cultivating mode of goodness in our lives. Srila Prabhupada says in his purport to Bhagavad Gita verse 14.17, through Krishna consciousness, society will develop the mode of goodness. When the mode of goodness is developed, people will see things as they are. In the mode of ignorance, people are just like animals and cannot see things clearly. In the mode of ignorance, for example, they do not see that by killing one animal, they are taking a chance of being killed by the same animal in the next life. Because people have no education in actual knowledge, they become irresponsible. To stop this irresponsibility, education for developing the mode of goodness of the people in general must be there. When they are actually educated in the mode of goodness, they will become sober in full knowledge of things as they are. Then people will be happy and prosperous. Srimad Bhagavatam gives a three-stage scientific process to develop this mode of goodness. Stage 1. Hearing stage. The first stage is where we have to cleanse the dirt from our unclean hearts. This can be done by the easiest and most purifying process, that is, hearing about the most pure, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna. Sri Krishna, the Personality of Godhead, cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages. Stage 2. Clearing stage. The second stage where our unwanted, nasty habits are destroyed. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Stage 3. Achieving stage. The third stage is when we are established in the mode of goodness. Sthitam sattve prasidati. The modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. Number 2. Maintaining our resolutions. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks Krishna, why is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? We all experience situations where we resolve and aspire to achieve something great, but inevitably fall flat more often than not. In Bhagavad Gita 3.37, as an answer to Arjuna's question, Krishna teaches us that we become weak in our resolve because of lust. Lust makes us weak in our resolve and impels us to do things as if out of force. Lust means trying to enjoy our senses more than what we need. This is generated by association with the mode of passion or Rajoguna. Srila Prabhupada says in his purport to Bhagavad Gita 3.37, when a living entity comes in contact with the material creation, his eternal love for Krishna, love of God, is transformed into lust in association with the mode of passion. Or, in other words, the sense of love of God becomes transformed into lust. Our senses always force us to serve them and provide them what they need. And many times, because of this lust, a human being commits abominable activities. Therefore, Krishna concludes that this lust is the eternal enemy of the living entity. To curb this lust, Krishna gives the signs of control hierarchy within ourselves. He says that our mind is superior to the senses. Our intelligence is superior to the mind, and the spirit soul, we are spirit souls, and we are superior to the intelligence. We need to strengthen our intelligence and mind to be able to control our senses. Our intelligence is strengthened by following the instructions in Bhagavad Gita. Our mind is strengthened by chanting and hearing the Lord's holy names, especially the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And eventually the mind can control the senses from going astray, and thus we can conquer the lust. Number 3. Overcoming addictions. Bhagavad Gita gives a very simple yet powerful formula for overcoming our addictions. Krishna says that we cannot give up our addictions merely by restriction, but rather by cultivating a higher taste. Param drishtva nivartate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. Srila Prabhupada writes the following about this verse. Unless one is transcendently situated, it is not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a diseased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his taste for eatables. But one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for dead material things. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things. One can cultivate this higher taste of Krishna consciousness simply by faith and thereby seeking association of devotees who are practicing Krishna consciousness. Just like one becomes addictive drunkard by associating with expert drunkards, one can cultivate the higher taste of Krishna consciousness by associating with those who are already on that platform. To summarize, 1. To cultivate good habits, develop mode of goodness by the 3-stage process, starting with hearing about the Supreme Lord Krishna. 2. To maintain resolutions, drive the lust away from within by strengthening your spiritual intelligence and mind. And 3. To overcome addictions, cultivate higher taste of Krishna consciousness.